Spots two members, now three. Sanford in the back here. James Banks with the pull. Carl Easy. Energy eruption. Going home. KLBJ gets pushed back. And Carl Easy secures. All it took was Nova. And they respond. Trapping him with the RWM. Purifies through. No one answers back. Oh! Aqua with the dash. Oh, no Purifies actually used up. He tried to dash through, but no one home.
Yeah, good dodge. JP single-handedly zoned out James Banks from that sequence. Even committed the way of the dragon so that James Banks would be forced back. Then afterwards, you saw the impact again by JP coming back with more G Kundo. So high-impact show play by JP right now.
Yeah, I can imagine that's exactly what was happening during the draft comms. Bro, pick a Cho. Just don't let JP play. I got this. That sounds like a Carl Teasy thing to say. And it really boiled out or played out exactly that way.
The man-to-man defense currently working out for Liquid. Gives him 1,000 gold up, despite, you know, the difficult first turtle take, which got delayed. There's a chance that we might actually just see 2 turtles this game.
Yeah. Could be stretched out here. AP Brand, I think that in the long run, that little delay that the Sanji JP were able to do on him is messing up their flow a bit.
Oh! Deadly Magics on one.
Nice
2
step.
RWMs coming through. Sanji's the real one. Stays. JP takes a few hits there. James Banks gets taunted, gets kicked, and gets taken out. JP gets a kill. Kyle Teasy served up a kill by Teddy. 2 for free to Liquid.
I can really feel the laser pointed straight in target lock, bro. I'm gonna tell you, this Harley's not gonna be able to play all game long.
Yeah, the Harley and the Hilda. That's why we were saying earlier, if Liquid just every time they'll see the Hilda, they know that there's only so much AP Ben could do. It'll greatly diminish their impact in every team fight. And this is just perfect man marking by Team Liquid. Good avoidance of the poker trick, so that the Deadly Magic wouldn't be capitalized on that much onto JP, and that left James Banks and Nova at the mercy of the taunt of Carl Teasy's Fredrin.
And now it's going to be a bit of an uphill here for AP Brand. Considering that their laners are also just trying to just not die at this moment. KLBJ right now on the arena is not going to be expecting much from that lane. And now they go straight into their third turtle.
Oh my god, Sanford is pushing KLVJ to the limit. Because of the previous sequences, Liquid make easy work of taking this turtle.
Second, by the way. Sorry, rather. So this is going to be a little bit more difficult to face. We got a dragon upon the in front.
Oh,
Copies it.
got 2.
2 dragons coming through. Can AP Brent protect their mid lane? The answer is no. Aqua tried.
Yeah, I like the color on that dragon too.
Ooh,
very
Shizu.
Shizu-like on the top side.
Yes.
Sneaky.
Oh, I saw that.
All right, gets out of there just in time. And successfully takes down a tier 1.
Yeah. They know he has a Purify, so that would be way too risky to try and jump him.
Yeah, don't want to force a flicker too much on a guy who actually has a Purify, and then you actually might absorb so many of those hits. Shizu at this point with both items feels like he could have done the damage. No.
Oh wow! Even between Aqua and James, they can't even take down 40.
Yeah, cross-map trade. Oh, Shizu and Nova are in danger.
JP comes in, finds the kick, the Purify. Teddy still wheeling away.
Ow.
Leaving that BMI plus a Void Crystal off-camera trade. 40 for James Banks. And they will take the turret too, so a little bit of room for AP Brent. Nothing comes for free. JP finds Nova. Nova answers back. No dice.
40 taking down James Banks ended up becoming a win. Yes, the tower's gonna get pushed down bot, but that would have been much better for AP Bren if they did not lose their jungler. But Sanford got his 3rd kill, lost the tower, but an even bigger W that in the end it was Liquid that won that trade with James Banks getting taken down by the Yu Zhong.
Yeah, I think slowing down your jungler, it really just adds up, right? That's so exponential, especially this point of the game. 7 minutes in, Carl T is gonna over-level you. So that's a big danger here for AP Brand if you're not on level, not on par with the Retribution.
This is a living nightmare for a Harley. When you see your opponent, your jungler opposition just willingly take a deadly match to the face.
2-level gap, by the way.
Yeah, Liquid has full control. No contest here by AP Brand, and he might even lose his purple buff here. Did he get it? Yes, he did.
He did, all right.
Had to retry for it though.
Yeah.
He had to do so much for it, honestly.
No contest. Remind me, are Harley and Fredrin related? Are they
I think you're picking Leslie.
They are. Yeah, no, Harley is Leslie's foster sister.
Foster?
Foster brother. Yeah.
Right.
Oh,
Okay.
I thought they were like
They're not all
blood
Paxleys?
brother.
They're not
Wala
good
naman
brothers.
challenge,
No.
wala naman challenge.
Fredrin is more.
He does his own thing, I think.
Isn't that
He's-
Fredrin more Layla?
No.
No?
Fredrin is. They're from the same family tree, but
Same
they're not
family.
like
Yeah.
siblings.
Speaking of the Fredrin, also has the Chastise Squadron as well. This is going to be a slow burn
Huh?
win for Team Liquid Philippines.
That's gonna slow down your Shizu.
Oh
so
my lord!
oh!
Nova can't even stand the Teddy.
Oh.
RWM, the answer to the RWM. And Aqua still well and away. Takes too much damage from Carl DZ to the face.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
they
man.
are leagues
That
ahead.
is-
Yeah, well, this is a total draft win by TLPH. Again, we talked about the numbers leaning a bit more for AP Brand, but it's who, again, the context of who is playing the heroes at the side of Liquid. It's JP on his Joe, it's Sanford on the Yuzhong, Carl on the Fred.
That's why they'll never AI our job.
Yeah, Sanji on Eve, Teddy on Claude.
You can't tell. You can tell by the numbers, right? The numbers will say differently.
Yeah, that was full comfort for Liquid. If AP
What?
Brand pull this off, it's a miracle. Teddy!
And they catch
Mali,
James.
Mali,
A
Hari,
kick
Hari match, right?
onto the Harley. A double for Steady Teddy, and they'll find Kyo. It's enough for the Apex Predator to find his prey. Straight for the heart of the mid lane as Tier 2 falls.
dirty
The
beast game
recalls
karani
come
maya
through.
hai.
It's the full 5-man flex down by Liquid. And when they do this, it's because they know they are moments away from winning this game. Maybe a lord or two away from ending it in game number 3.
Gotta say, it feels like they're a little mad too without disrespect here on game number 1. They feel like they could have taken that, and now they're showing they can.
RWM coming in. Nova embraces the offense, but gets kicked by JP and knocked out.
That's a big knockout, and you know what? What we said minute 1 just happened over and over and over again. James Banks cannot play MLBB here in this game.
Yeah. I wonder why you're in this. I feel like we go back there now. It's like, why?
I know. The Uranus feels like it's a little bit of a, underwhelming compared to what KLVJ can actually pull off.
They lost the EXP lane trade bad. Again, going back to the Infinix keys to victory, it's important. The matchup, KLVJ and Sanford, what heroes do they get? Sanford got big setup, big impact, crowd control. KLVJ got Uranus.
He got big.
He got
Just big.
He got big. He
That's
got
the first
punch.
part. Oh
That's
my
it.
goodness. It feels bad because I feel like it could have been better. Maybe they kind of overloaded on making sure that they had a front line. They picked 2 big frontline heroes. But again, it's not really doing much here, as you can see very evidently.
Such a simple zone out by JP. He just threatens a Jeet Kune Do knock-up and immediately AP Brand back off.
'Cause he
Massive
can-
lead for
He
Liquid.
can get out himself. Like
Yeah.
if ever he does go in too deep. Whoa, what's happening to Teddy? All right, Teddy catches a
Teddy's
face full of
fine.
deadly magics, and he's okay. The regen on a fully Swift Trinity equipped Claude is disgusting.
Yeah.
I played a couple of gold lane games this week. I
Having
ended up
fun with Claude?
Yeah, I ended up with a gold lane pick because randomly I queued up with people who let me play that, and it's so good. It feels so
40?
good.
40?
40
Oh,
coming in.
there you
Dragon
go again.
form. A kick on the 1. RWM stolen away, but they still find KLVJ, and Nova might go down. Swipes away from Sanji. They're already in the base. A lot of damage on the Shizo, and they throw out everything that they could. James Banks gets taken down here by Teddy. Carl DZ falls, but so does the base. Liquid continue their streak undefeated after week 2.
Another one! Another reverse sweep for TLPA!
They're going a different direction. So the course was clear.
Yeah.
Very clear, Yuzhong. I like that. Lapu-Lapu kind of...
It's still okay. You need the dragon to help the lane get information. It provides
No,
the space
assist
that the
whatsoever.
Farsa wants and the carry wants.
Yeah, Kiel played a lot of Yuzhong and Esmeralda in China.
Yeah, yeah.
Carl TZ on the grid.
By a bird call, I was led to the underworld. And here should King Yama tremble.
This is
Goat's Magic Man. He's gonna be mad. With a lot of Harleys and a lot of Guinevere.
yeah, a lot of value in magic damage junglers right now. But then of course the strength of the Guinevere is that sure big crowd control knock-up that you can get with her.
And in the eyes of Carl TZ with that killer instinct, feels like
Yeah.
such a good combo.
They're really deeply thinking about this. They might have just been drafted out of the EXP lane. The Yuzhong's the safest and it makes the most sense.
I'm not the only
Yep.
one bound by
Too many dashes to not Phoveus.
Yeah. With the Fove instead. Ooh, this might be a really tough game for KLBJ.
By a bird
Looking at
call, I was led to
there,
the underworld.
it's looking a lot like similar to what happened to Stanford in game number 1, where Fove is like, I'm here, I'm gone. They bursted me down, guys.
It's a little too reactive for our taste, especially with the momentum AP Brand has.
So to do these really crazy first picks on the red side, we'll see if that's going to make any big changes or big impact with those lineups right now. It does feel like the index shows TLPA should be ahead.
Yeah, I'm going to stand by my word and say we're probably going to be going to game number 3. This looks stampedable. Stampedable, but hey, who
Guys,
knows,
subscribe,
maybe Nova
guys,
Aqua
subscribe.
James Frank can pull out some magic. And if KLBJ times his vision getting and fronting properly, then they might be able to hold on long enough. Let's see, but with everything considered, it's looking like a fast game for Liquid.
Fast game Team Liquid, maybe 12 minutes. That's the read here from the desk. Do you guys agree? Let us know in the comments. We'll try to read through that later on. But for now, it's Team Liquid versus AP Brand on game number 2.
I love the respect AP Brand has for Team Liquid's lineup. 2 full Purifies. They know that Liquid's gonna bring it to them, and bring it they did! As Aqua gets killed by the chef, first blood drawn by Sanji.
I like that we all basically nodded in agreement at the same time, because that's exactly what we expected to happen.
Zetian wasn't banned, right?
Yes.
Then the knockback of Zetian would have been very helpful in that scenario. It helps manage the lane slightly better against a very aggressive Kali that wants to get close and up in your face. It wrecks his flow a little bit.
Uh-oh.
That's a bad start.
Carl's waiting in the wings, coming through, looking for that passive to proc, and he finds Aqua the second time around. JP figured out 4, Nova falls, double kill for the GOAT. Sanji flickers back out, and James Banks finds Sanji, 2 for 2.
Man, those are lots of good trades, and again, you don't want to actually go toe-to-toe against
Yeah,
a
hardly
Guinevere, like
wasting the
especially
time.
in your face, because you're not gonna win that trade. His HP just goes back over and over again.
Okay, a little magic from James Panks. That ended as good as it could have for AP Brand. 2 kills, and he got away, and he has an EXP advantage slightly over Carl TZ, despite them both being level 4, yes. So, not a total loss for AP Brand. They're still definitely in this based on how they managed getting KLBJ out of lane first or getting him to level 4. So Team Liquid do the smart thing, pull back the crab, deny it from AP Brand, it ends up going to JP, so it's a delay on the level 4 for both EXP laners right now.
Yeah, and that's gonna level out, especially once they're going into the turtle later on. Very close by. James Tank actually wants to get this done as quickly as possible.
Yeah,
Couldn't hold on to the turtle hard enough since he has to respect JP's jumps and Carl's.
Yeah, this is going to be a big fight. Just watch out for Sanford and KLVJ. I feel like with their entries and who manages which entry better.
Yeah, no Raging Sandstorm quite yet for JP at least, but it will actually come online almost the same time as his Flicker. So you're right, absolutely, that's definitely on the chopping board here. You have to keep your eyes on the timer as well for Sanji.
Yep, Gold Crab was secured by Teddy there in that last little skirmish for it, I think Shizo, and thus he has a slight advantage over the carry. Very long turtle dance here. I think at some point someone might have to give it up, but with James Panks at the orange already, after this should be a clear sign for AP Brent to try and go for something. But Team Liquid Philippines are delaying as much as they can, being aggressive in the river as Carl TZ needed to go down to get his own orange buff first.
Oh, still the level advantage for Jimmy James. He's on 6, Carl at 5, so if it comes down to the wire retribution battles, James Banks has a slight advantage. The dance continues, Nova and JP pulling back and forth and back. JP does not have the Rampaging Sandstorm just yet. Void Crystal thrown out, check in range. Sanji here gets pushed back. Glorious Pathway by Nova. What's the play here? Is he opening up for James? James holding on to the retribution. Quick stand guy comes in. James Panks answered with embedded airstrike. The RWM. The response from Sanji and Sanford with the torrent. In comes KL from the back. Deadly Magic thrown on to JP. And in comes the Infernal Pursuit. They stun Sanford. Sanford's caught between 4 and 40. Gets taken down by Jimmy James. They trade for Nova. In comes Carl, serving up a kill. 2. One of them, and Apple falls, but Carl TZ gets taken down. How actually survived the engagement? Great range from AP.
Clutch Dark Wave by KLVJ. That just gave enough time for that last basic attack from James Banks to connect and latch onto Carl TZ, securing that kill. So Nova's initial initiation was just wait.
They're still going.
JP!
JP trying to quick set guard this, but
just way too much magic damage.
AP Bren are handling this so well. We are getting magic from James Banks, 5-0-1 to start things off, and Aqua and Nova getting really crafty. It's the Unk knowledge that we keep talking about them. So Nova's start actually is a means to force reactions out of Team Liquid Philippines, and they eventually decided to jump into that fight. It was handled well by Liquid, but it was just a crazy retribution win for James Banks. Now, it was stretched out and it ended up becoming in favor for AP Bren because we said look at the two EXP laners. KLVJ was unbothered. Because of Nova entering, that meant that Team Liquid couldn't look at the Phoveus. So that means KLVJ was ready for round 2 after going around the back.
Look at those differences as well. The goal difference really ramping up here for AP Bren. Not the one we expected. Damn, I'm a little flabbergasted. By the way, in all that exchanges, super low-key Aqua. I'm a big fan of how he's playing that Farsa.
Yes. I haven't seen a Farsa in a while be as useful without a feathered airstrike as he was. I could have sworn he died, but no, he was just throwing out those basic skills, and it's like
every single one hits. That's the scary part with Aqua here. He's very low-key. He's not rushing these hits. He's not rushing the salvos.
Curse of Crow was stonks for that engagement. Turtle 2 currently up. AP Bren, 2,000 gold. Huge firepower advantage. Sanford looking for that angle in the back line. Nova drawing a line between the rest of them and AP Bren. Feathered airstrike, they've clapped out on the car!
Oh my god!
AP Bren easily secures the turtle. RWM keeping Nova down. And KLVJ engages on a 2. Make that 3 as he pushes JP back. A lot of damage out of him. Sanford finds a double. The Apex Predator gets one.
There goes that star power that TLPH is very much known for. You can kind of out macro them a little bit, but individually those mechanics are just a little bit too much overcome, especially on that last one.
Yeah, San stood tall with Daddy JP, and I think LVJ was just Aqua missed the Curse of Crow by a few inches. That's why once KLVJ thought
did we
that
cast
he
the
could,
curse it?
Yeah, I feel like we did. I feel like when KLVJ thought that he could get JP, suddenly it was a Void Crystal brought out by Sanji, slowed him down, and forcing AP Bren back. But they are still in control. They are still setting the momentum here with their fast and snappy rotations. Now they are both eyeing gold lanes as Teddy and Shizo have been left unbothered for majority of this game. So looking back at it, by the time Sanford went in, AP Bren already pulled the trigger on the fight, meaning that Sanford couldn't make the most out of his disruption. But then he waited, he bided his time, and then now it linked up with Sanji's real-world manipulation well. This is what I was talking about earlier with KLVJ. After Aqua just missing the stun on JP by inches, KLVJ was punished, trying to go for the kill on JP.
That's a very good punish, and overall, I would say that just resulted in James Banks just having so much ground to cover, so much easier for him to cover these grounds. Now that they're able to push TLPH back a little bit.
Yeah. So it's a DHS rush for Teddy, and he didn't even go for the he didn't go for the Swift crossbow. He didn't go for golden staff, nothing like that. He went straight for DHS, knowing that he needed the extra bit of damage because it's going to be the Phoveus and the high loss he has to think about more of.
JP, Reggie Sandor, massive ult coming in from Carl. The response, the RWM, Glorious Pathway. Nova trying to open up the retreat, and Sanford trying to keep him in. But Liquid final pickoff. James Banks shut down.
I was really feeling what Sanford's trying to do. He's trying to pull people back into the real world. It's just not happening quite here. AP Bren really respecting the distance to give them a lot of distance.
Yeah, with the Glorious Pathway there also, Nova was just a little bit too fast to get brought back into the RWM. Free turtle for Liquid, and that was just a great initiation by JP and Carl TZ together. Of course, well followed up by the rest of Liquid. So Liquid now has taken control of this game. It's not the Stampede that we expected to get. AP Bren did greatly match Team Liquid of Philippines in the early stages of the game, but now it is a slight Liquid lead. Carl TZ just built up a Winter Crown so he can be aggressive and at the same time maybe bait out abilities from AP Bren. Just when APB think that they can get Carl TZ down, he can just pop up the Winter Crown.
It's actually perfect for him because that will actually enable him to do more riskier maneuvers.
Exactly, yes.
And just give him more confidence.
And again, even save him from a deadly magics. He can just freeze right as the proc happens.
That's right. That's right.
Like you'll just eat everything first, and then just when it's about to pop, Winter Crown it, and then you're safe.
There's a sound board for that. Boing. Nothing.
Isn't it more like a ticking clock? It's like
yeah, it is. It is. That's my sound board.
There it is. See, it's on Sanji now.
The point.
And he's okay.
Nothing happened. Oh, well.
Yeah, there was enough of a follow-up.
Yeah.
Because Aqua was a little too deep underneath.
The distance is... I think AP Bren might be respecting TLPH too much now.
Yeah, no,
They're not closing this as much.
yeah, they have to though. JP's man marking James Spanks really well. I think they've shifted their focus now, making sure that they know where the Harley is at before they engage, which is the right call.
It does feel like there is a right call, right? With the team fights that AP Brand are not taking. Aren't they just like giving away too much? They're giving TLPH like more room for the backswing.
It's one of those scenarios where you have to give, because if you force anything, then heading into the Lord, it's like that might end up becoming a free Lord for Liquid. So it's them just playing defensive, making sure that Shizo still doesn't get taken down. He
Looking
gets
for time.
farm. Yeah, they're just recalibrating a little bit, biding their time, being patient with it.
They slow down so much.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys noticed. It slowed down so much here. Look at the distance Aqua's also giving, trying to clear those waves.
Yeah.
And again, it's all for this Lord.
And of course, as expected, Liquid, knowing that AP Brand had decided to slow things down, they're going, thank you, we'll get the resources. They pushed their lead from 1,100 to 2,400 and counting. So that continues to go up. But look at the two gold laners. Shizo even has a very, very slight lead, though that is very close in terms of the gold.
Both
against
Trinity.
Teddy.
Yeah, both of them have the Swift Trinity activated now.
Whoa! JP and Carl once again attempt that same maneuver. Nova able to respond and embrace it with a glorious pathway. In comes KLVG to the back. Sanford trying to find Aqua, and Aqua wings by wings, but a little too much. They trade those 40 falls, 2 for 2. Aqua and KL for 40 and JP. They all just back off, scatter across the map.
Yeah, you saw the impact of the Winter Crown of Carl Teasy that bought a lot of time. And it seems like James Spanks, he's playing this as peel for Aqua. He's saving his deadly magic for the entry of Sanford, and that's why they were able to trade Sanford out.
I was thinking, you know what, maybe because he knows there's a Winter Crown for Carl, that's why he didn't bother.
Yeah.
But then again, that is a really good swap out of target. Sanford getting slowed down actually just gave so much room for AP Brand to move.
Which is, I think, why it feels like AP Brenner is slowing down. We're usually seeing, we're used to seeing James Banks as a full-on offensive tool. Here he's being a deterrent. Glorious pathway dropped by Nova. Better airstrike coming in. Can they stop this turtle thing? The goat finds the retribution. JP falls. Shizo on Sanford. 40 gets punished hard. James Banks takes him down. 2 for the Lord. AP Brenner gonna have to find a way to capitalize.
Oh boy. That was a little late on the torrent form as well for Sanji. Sanford rather. I don't think he was able to actually get as much use of the Sora as he wanted to in that last one.
In the end, though, it was just like a pure retribution win for Carl Teasy and Liquid. And a great call to immediately jump onto the tower in mid, as members of AP Brand could not hold on to defend their tower there. That now opens up the map significantly more for Team Liquid. They only have one tower taken down on their side, and that is the one at top. AP Brand have to do a lot of work here to turn this game around, while Liquid can just coast to continue getting more towers taken out. Malefic Gun now for Shizo. Okay, not at the last item. Okay, that's a good adjustment because it gives him the range that he needs, provides a little bit more space, and at the same time, maybe that might mean that James Banks won't have to play deterrence as much.
Ooh.
Earlier team fight.
The fight for this tier 2 in mid. AP Bren puts their foot down and says, not so fast, as they throw out a couple of ults to stop Liquid.
Yeah.
Carl Teasy, look at him on the side. He's just waiting for someone to step out of the line. Love what I'm seeing here.
Guinevere with a lot of cooldown reduction. Woo! Vamp. This is the
40.
Guinevere that hurts because that's 2 items with adaptive damage that he built.
Ooh, love that. Look at the HP of Sanford basically just shrugging that deadly magic off. That's basically the Harley out for a few seconds.
A little bit of a silver lining, though. That was just James Banks. So there was very little follow-up. No additional damage to use the deadly magics and the genius one. So if he can take out a third or a fourth of Sanford,
On his own.
yeah, that's still some respectable damage from the Harley.
Yeah, and so after the draft, we mentioned that KevVJ might have a difficult time here, and clearly he is. There's a massive lead for Sanford compared to the Phobias. He's been doing what he could, but again, this is why we mentioned that this will be a difficult job for the Phobias.
James Banks almost checks in on 40.
Yeah. But
They seem to be just clashing non-stop, these two guys right now.
So all going to be seeing each other, man marking, checking the bushes. So looking at the item progression.
Guinevere versus Harley, that's a no-brainer, right? That should be a no-brainer. And I love the gap as well that's being created.
Yeah, Aqua already has the Genius Wand, and now Karthisi also picked up the Athena Shield. So if KevVJ decides to continue his more aggressive posturing towards Karthisi, when he would see the Guinevere, he'll go in for the Dark Wave. It's not going to be easy to burst down this Guinevere.
Whoa.
You have to be a little bit smarter for the team fights.
Karthisi contemplating if he should pop off the full suite to take down Nova, but AP Bren clearly using him for bait. Liquid knows.
Yeah. Good control here for Liquid, and AP Bren, I think they're tired of just responding over and over again. It feels like now they're talking, we might be ready to go ahead, face the LPH head on.
Yeah.
Is it time?
They need to. This next Lord cannot easily go to Liquid. They're gonna have to try and see if they can get trades. If they don't get the Lord, at least get a kill or 3.
Nova with a conceal. Who's he looking for? Checks in on the RBM. Sanji gets flushed out. JP and Carl TZ still looking for that engagement. I don't think they trust Nova anymore. It can't just be as easy as it was about 5-6 minutes ago. The blitz onto this Lord. Who's gonna take it? Glorious pathway. He's looking for Carl. And the retribution still is good from the goat. And Nova gets hit with a full sweep. Better airstrike by Aqua. Sanford looking for targets. Lightning form. Blazing duet plus the winner crown into the back line as KLVJ is about to get popped once more. He falls alongside Nova. No one home for Sanford, but they've cornered Jimmy James. Jimmy James gets taken down. Double for Steady Teddy.
Yeah, it does feel like he's a lot more comfortable on that quad here in game number 2. Just like that, we've got a Lord walking up on mid.
And they are inside the base just like that. Aqua and Shizo struggling to defend. And that's going to be it. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going all the way. Game 3 for this series here today.
And the cavalry goes wild for Team Liquid. Kind of exactly what we predicted though. Not super surprised with the outcome, honestly.
Whether it was an unfortunate pull on the Lord or a missed tackle. Whoa. And our head referee is the Chop Master Sent. Our esteemed coaches representing the 2 teams on stage. For Aurora, it's Master the Basics. For Team Falcons, Coach Moody.
We love to talk about.
And it's that mid trio that enables the side lanes and vice versa. Which brings me to put some pressure on Flap. Is he going to be Flap or a flop? Because he's one of the highest roller XP laners in the game, in the history of the league.
Definitely very, like, what do you call this? It's very 50-50, right?
Feast or famine.
Feast or famine here for Flap TZ right now, which has been actually serving the Falcons relatively well in some scenarios, but at the same time, very much, it's just a lot to desire for.
Yeah, it's also determinant on what ends up in the hands of Flap. And again, it's the theme for the season. You end up in the Roma trio. One of the reasons why, especially in their last series against Team Liquid Philippines in the Clash of Titans, that Flap had a hard time is because Ogun and Haji were having a hard time. They were getting unnecessary deaths. They had to double back and try to protect Kyle after they lost their initial trades. So that puts so much pressure on Flap that almost always will end up with more offensive-minded EXP laners that won't be as tanky as you'd want it to be. Hence, the high death count.
That's right. High death count. I think he's definitely on the running for highest as well in the league, probably. From the games I've seen, at least. But look at that Champions World, the World Champions Factory, rather. A lot of them are still highlighted, a lot of them still active, a lot of them kicking butt.
Ooh, we're playing with two-time world champions here today.
Yeah. We're looking at, of course,
Flap work, I was sent to the underworld.
right?
3.
I'm not missing anyone else.
No, two.
Just two,
Haji
okay.
competed in M2.
Yeah.
And then he won M3.
Yeah. So it's the 2 EXP laner that we're looking at. But I think because of how much influence the Rome mid trio affects the whole map, we also have to revisit the matchup in the jungle. I feel like Kyle and Demonkite are much closer mirrors of one another than maybe these 2 teams would care to admit. They're very dependable in terms of being able to be the carry if needed, but most recently, the teams have excelled through them if they play the more utility role. And even the utility of Demonkite and Kyle, it's very aggressive set. They look for those big initiations.
Not to mention the propensity of both teams, not just jungglers, to embrace the Dark Continent.
The Dark
Was it
Continent.
not in the past couple of seasons where people would question Coach Treb, Falcons former coach, why?
That's
why
right.
would you pick that?
Although they do have some other picks that I would not consider a dark one. The Fanny really highly contested on both of these junglers whenever their teams need it the most. We are obviously going to be on Aurora side for now. Was that Expanding Rivers? I believe that was Expanding Rivers.
ERBS. Standing River, blue side.
Blue side. There you go. So overall, I would feel like, you know what, they've got a lot on their arsenal. You know what? Earlier when Carl Teasy himself said, you know what, AP Brent needs a little bit more. What do you call that? Hero pool.
Yeah.
These two teams are not. They're not getting lack of that at all.
Yeah, hero pool is not a question at all between these two. It's a matter of the trading. That's why this is one of our favorite matchups to watch out for, especially with the return of Coach Brent, Coach Ducky being here on stage. And of course, not to take any credit away also from Coach Moody, who has been the remnant of the coaching staff from last season when he was with
He really held it together.
Came in clutch to get Falcons back in playoff shape.
Yeah, I believe, was it mentioned in an interview last season that they specifically shouted out Coach Moody as being a big impact?
Yes,
for
they
the
did.
latter half of the season for them to secure a playoff slot.
Basically, like giving him credit for a lot of their success, or at least their ability to make an entry.
Yeah, in and out of the game.
Yeah. So love that. We're going in the draft here for game number 1. So yeah, expanding rivers right now. We've got a Hilda band, very solid here.
Yeah.
Not surprised at all.
I like the opener for Falcons. Respect Lights Grok.
Which some teams actually forget sometimes.
Yeah, yesterday it was really bad.
Yeah. A little bit over.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. It's row mid as a priority. There are even a Guinevere band. It's clear where these two teams' heads are at. They're really looking at the row mid trio. The power of utility, as we mentioned earlier. So let's see if Falcons will try to match that. Will they add a Valentina ban here? Because the Valentina, it's not just because it's a strong pick in terms of trading in the mid. It shuts off a lot of picks that you want to get that have big ticket ultimates. One of the reasons we aren't seeing Arlott as much is because Valentina shows up. And especially with the Valentina open, you can say that what if Rora decides to go for a Sora despite there being an open Freya, Leomord. Falcons has decided to overload the options. So has Rora. So now the red 2 side, red 1 and 2 actually look really strong because Rora will only get one of the big 3 in the meta right now in the Freya, the Leomord, and the Sora.
Despite the possible counters of the Sora, I still think that's a great idea to give to Edward. At the very least, flexed over the doming. Because I feel like there's so much that this guy can do on a hero that has such a high micro ceiling that you can get away with it. Kind of get away with it. Even with counters.
But I'm not so sure that's a Aurora thing to do. See?
Yeah.
It's between this or the Fred, and they
Welcome to the
think it's just
greatest
a little
mag
more
show of
safe
all
to
time.
get the Baksha first, because you get to fight better in those little pits.
And this is one of those matchups that Freya is also like just left open.
That and macro
Do you want to
efficiency.
make
You get to
friends with
fight
Nana?
faster.
Yeah.
Speed. I am speed.
These are the comforts of Aurora. I wouldn't be surprised if Falcons are considering taking away the high loss so that they don't end up with a dreaded high loss Baksha combo of Aurora in the mid with what could be a Yue Kimi later on if it's going to be open for him. I think Falcons need to take the high loss and then one of either
for the
Freya or the
ultimate
Leomord
answer.
here.
Yeah, Yue Kimi is super underrated, by the way. I feel like people have forgotten because Kimi has fallen from highlight. There's the Leomord, there's the Sora. They're happy to run with that, even especially since they're the ones who actually banned out the Valentina.
Okay, so it's the first expectation we had earlier, which is they go for the power picks. So now Aurora, they can shuffle Kimi, Freya, high loss, and the priorities here. They might even pick up an Arlott for Aurora, for Edward now, so that you have the explainer that can handle the Sora and match its impact in terms of the damage and crowd control.
Yeah, so far so good here, I would say, for Falcons. Very strong 2 picks.
Time
you can
and
round it
tide
out with
wait for
another
no
goal
man.
later, maybe like
Nor
a Claude. Here's that Freya we're talking about. Love to see it. Very efficient, like Leo said. I feel like this lineup can go fast, go hard.
I am
But
more
only one of the
than
two
a
run across the
weapon.
map quickly can actually do it scot-free. That's the Baksha. Now Falcons are going to be on high alert. You got to stop the Freya from crossing the river. So I want to see what Hodge plays. Remember, what does Hodge play? How do you stop that Freya from getting from the gold lane to the turtle pit in the first rotation?
That's
Well,
right.
May
one
the
of the
blood
fastest
of
ones
my
you can go for,
enemies
of course, is
flow
the
from my
Farsa,
spear.
fast clear
The
mid,
immortal
and then
one
you
chose me
rotate,
to
see if you
vanquish
can
the
stop on
shadow
the Freya just a
that
little
plague
bit.
this
If you want
world.
to be a little bit more static with your defense on it in the sense of you're waiting for someone to jump at you, but you get vision, you can get the Zetian. Now, an option here for Falcons is they have to consider that Rora might suddenly surprise show up with a chip later for Roam.
Yeah,
that
I was
even if
about
they
to say
steal
that.
away the high loss or something like that, there's still going to be the chip available for Light later on. So now they pick up their carry. It's a clear matchup matchup now. This is most likely going to be a Freya in the gold lane for
them play
Dominguez.
the
That's been the
hero.
tendency for Aurora.
I will be the
R-Lock's still
truth
open,
this
so you want
world
to consider that going up
desperately
against the
needs.
Sora. A high loss Farsa mid would be alright. But the thing is, I feel like that really doesn't match the impact that could be brought on by a level 4 Freya, level 4 Baksha. Something else needs to be different. Are they going to steal the chip for themselves? Are they going to deny it? What if they decide to go for, okay, maybe we go for a very classic burst and the Cho Farsa in the mid so that we can rotate quicker?
Okay. So far in the history of MPL PHG 17, only one team has cracked the code on Freya chip, and that's Smart Omega. But we now know that the solution exists.
There
Will
is a solution.
Falcons, yeah, will Falcons acknowledge that? Will Falcons go, hey, Omega did it, could Rora do the same?
Yeah, I was gonna say that, you know what, aside from that, aside from the obvious answer to the Freya, there's also like an off answer to the Freya I actually recently discovered in MDL Philippines,
Oh.
which is the Masha.
Masha.
Unfortunately,
The dawn of
it's
a new
gold lane
world.
Masha, so you can't, they already have the carry.
Yeah.
So,
So you outburst the Freya.
yeah, exactly, and then you actually just completely bottom out with the chip. It's Masha with chip.
Okay, blows her up.
Blow it up.
Okay. Interesting how you end up with that kind of combo again, only possible through the global ban pick system.
Yes.
You're able to like weave through these connections.
That's what I love
but-
about MDL, yeah.
Yeah, but here,
Everyone's free to do whatever they want here.
but it's more telegraph,
Or Telegraph.
which neither team seems to acknowledge the chip.
No, absolutely.
It might not be the... Maybe because the presence of the Sora is also what's stopping the chip off maybe for Rora. I mean, it's great, and it might be too one-dimensional to think it's
Submit
just,
or
oh, we're not going to put the
die.
chip because the Sora is there, but I can't help but think that maybe it's in the back of both their heads right now.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go, finally. Hey!
So because of that, are they gonna go red for Hylos? Just to really stomp down on Rora's known tendencies.
That sounds like a plan.
Yeah.
That sounds like a plan. I feel like, you know what, Glorious Pathway is underrated in order to answer a Freya. Because the Freya can't move much.
Yep. They end up getting the Hylos again. What? Aurora, Light can just go Cho. And this is going to be fine.
Submit
Also
or
considering that the Kalea is still
die.
open for either of these two, that even with the chip gone, it's a tough decision for Falcons here in Red 4 in terms of the roamer that they want to deny.
because of the huge selection, it becomes more important what's big for Red 4.
Gale is still
Yeah,
trying to
very big
consume
selection,
me.
honestly. And these bans are not helping. By the way, these bans are completely moving basic Falcons in a very distinct direction.
Yeah, the chip was their last proactive
To
move
show mercy
in the second phase of the
is
draft.
to invite
Anything else that can
destruction.
answer this, Freya?
The weak
I'm
are
out.
but
A lot of
fodder.
crowd control, a lot of spacing. They
More
might,
crowd
end up,
control.
they might end up with a Zetyan for Haji, or they're going to try to run back their Valir that
Didn't work yesterday.
didn't work out yesterday.
Yeah, the Khalid ban is pretty good. I actually like that. That's another way to kind of keep up
Yeah.
with the Freya and pressure the Kimmy. Good read by Coach MTV.
There it is, Kalea. So with the Kalea here, this should be a pretty easy high loss pickup for Aurora. And if they are overthinking already that it's going to be a Valir for Haji in Red 5, then they can pick up the Benedetta to shut down that
don't
idea.
give a
And
damn
then they'll
if the
have to
world
readjust
is
and go
against
for
me.
and decide between the Farsa or the Zetien. Unless, what if Falcons is saving this Red 5 for a unique pick? Again, it's
Something
Dark
from the
Continent
Dark
hero.
Continent.
They threatened it. They threatened it last week. I don't know. I'm ready for it.
I mean,
Neither heaven
I don't know
nor
why I've been
earth will
thinking
be
lately, like,
dragon.
I've been wanting to see Aurora show up. Not the team, but the hero.
There's no room for it now.
Where are you going to put it?
Unless some weird Rome Aurora.
No, in mid for Falcons. What I'm talking about.
for-
Oh, your
okay,
Falcons,
cool.
right,
I thought like
right, right.
Aurora, since they're the
no,
ones
no.
with the propensity to do that.
Has
that crowd
sapped this
control
land
with
of its
that.
strength.
Oh, okay. So instead of the high loss, the taunt too should really spell a good amount of trouble for the divers of Falcons, especially that Kalea.
Yep.
You can also pack a Revitalize with it, and I think it's because Rora's already thinking that the best pick for Falcons is the Farsa, so they want to deny that. It's up to them to decide whether or not they're okay with still playing the Farsa, or then just double down on the Zetien, or show a different mid.
That's a big +1 because I love that a lot of these heroes can cancel the
Weak
Farsa,
of
but
weakness.
they can also like bait out the Tsunami Slam.
Yeah.
Because they're gonna be the ones who can start the game,
Yeah.
and then the Freya can do whatever he wants.
Take me, take me.
Yeah. But the Freya is like,
Yeah, I think Haji's being very vocal right now with the coaches. Very difficult conversation of like what to
I
decide.
don't give a
Don't
damn
trust
if
too
the
much.
world
Yeah, is it
is
map
against me.
presence?
No
is
choice.
it the vision? What do you want to get? It's still the Farsa.
no choice, bro. Just play it.
No such thing as too much for the machine.
Let's go.
He will not turn down a fight.
So,
Looks ready. For the meantime, though, super fans, please make your predictions with us. You want to win the 1,000 MLBB diamonds? Predict the match, win it correctly. Scan that QR code now.
Can stop
Here
my
we go.
ambitions.
Who would you predict? 1,000 diamonds on the line. Like, who would you say? The world is saying a majority still with the M7 World Champions, but Falcons draft ain't so shabby.
I gotta agree. It looks good for Aurora.
They have a Kalia combo.
Yeah.
2 of them, actually.
It's beautiful.
Kalia Carry, Kalia Farsa.
there's just way too much dive on the side of Aurora, though. If we're going to be looking at it from a team fighting perspective, the lineup rating is good for Falcons because that is very sound in the draft. But if you look at the Gato, the Labu, the Freya, the Baksha, I feel like Haji might have a difficult time here for the team fights. That him trying to escape and Falcons trying to give him space actually damages Falcons' chances in team fights in the long run.
Yeah, it's gonna be tricky, but I will not say impossible for Haji right here in game number 1. Aurora versus Falcons. I mean, the positioning of that feather airstrike, some people would say just go ahead and hide in the bush. Maybe you can get away with it. Throw away of maybe free salvos.
Easier said than done, Carl.
That's right, exactly. But, you know, I'm giving Haji the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
At least for this one.
Ogren and Haji now being a little bit more careful with their trading in the mid after some
I am
recent
the
bits happened early on.
inevitable.
Forcing the Frey on the other side. Marco, we'll just see what he can do to temper that.
Whoa.
Light took a lot of damage from Kyle, Haji, and Ogren.
You gotta acknowledge the fact that the Kalia helps Haji stay, you know?
Gold Crab, if I'm not... Yeah, went to Super Marco. Oh!
Oh my god, Light gets taken down! Suddenly, from out of nowhere, with no battle spells used from Falcons!
I think none of us expected that to happen. Even our camera didn't really catch that.
I didn't see that trade going down. Maybe Light versus Revitalize, or even the Revitalize was not enough to help him survive. In the EXP lane, Flash doing a good job of handling Edward. Yeah, we go back and restabilize after the trade in mid.
Yeah, restabilizing is very important, especially right now that we're all waiting for those level 4s, especially for Falcons here.
Kyle comes in, calls in Barbiel off the